St. Adolphe, just south of Winnipeg. We have Ian White, CEO of the CWB, and Dana Spiring, Chief Strategy Officer. And obviously, this is an exciting. These are exciting times. Seeing CWB's infrastructure being built.
Yep. This is the third of our new build state-of-the-art elevators that is actually going up in terms of the slip. The one at Pasqua near Moose Jaw is going to be going very shortly, and we're very pleased to see this go up today.
And the other ones, I believe, are almost still accepting grain.
Right.
Dana,
yeah,
maybe?
Bloom is accepting grain now, and Kalonze, I believe, is accepting grain very shortly as well, if they're not already. So Pasqua is the last of the first four that we announced, and it'll be poured, I think, in the next couple of weeks.
Next few weeks. Yeah.
So do you guys get to move concrete up there as well?
No, well, there's a specialist crew up there, but we can only do it if they let us.
So far 4 elevators. Are there more in the works, or what's down the road?
For sure, the CWB has said that it has a plan to continue to build in the country. We want to build a substantial infrastructure, and our partners G3 share that view. So certainly, coming up in the future, I'm sure you'll see a lot more plans.
And port infrastructure as well, Dana?
You know what, we've said all the way along, we need to have a network that's coast to coast, and so we've got the East Coast through Mission Terminal and Three Rivers. Bunge is also going to incorporate some of their eastern assets into CWB at the end of the transaction, and West Coast is a riddle that we have to solve, and we're going to be looking at that too.
So you're going to have a prairie-wide or even Canada-wide presence?
Well, it will be a Canada-wide presence. We talk about the CWB basically being in Western Canada in the prairies, but G3 is incorporating the Bunge assets from Eastern Canada, and they include some elevators and some country origination in Ontario. And so we do. The intention is to have a Canadian-wide enterprise, which is coast to coast.
There is the farmer equity portion, of course, as well, and some of those details, I understand, will be sorted out when the trustees are appointed as to how the shares and farmers have been asking how they're going to capture that value, or whether it can be traded, those kinds of questions.
Right. So whether it's going to be traded is something that's going to be determined by the trustees on a go-forward basis, but on day one, we're going to establish a trust, and there's going to be a certain amount of equity that's allocated to that trust. Farmers will earn equity in that trust by delivering to the CWB. And we announced that on August 1, 2013. So we've been tracking deliveries to date. We're going to continue to track those deliveries until the trust is established. And at that point, farmers will get those units. The idea is that the equity stays in the CWB for a period of time to help it continue to grow and build its infrastructure.
After 7 years, though, whether farmers want to sell it or not, G3 has the option of buying it?
Yeah, they do have that option, and you got to remember that we're looking at this, we're starting this partnership or this relationship, and 7 years is a long time. And so we always had to know there was an ability for G3 to get out or for farmers to get out if it wasn't working. So they've expressed their intention to keep farmers as partners, and if it's going well, I don't see any reason why they're going to buy farmers out, but it's an option for them for sure.
So for farmers looking to, considering whether to sell through CWB because of the farmer equity or not, how can they know that it will have value in the future, or what they can do with what it means, I guess?
Well, as to whether or not it has value, if CWB is successful going forward, their equity is going to have value. And we've got two very sophisticated investors who are putting in $250 million to own 50.1% of the company. So I can tell you that their intention is for their equity to grow and for the CWB to become more valuable.
And farmers will grow with that. So that percentage that farmers own obviously may change over time if further capital is needed. But in general, they're going to be partners in a much bigger company, and there will be value there.
But for extracting that value in terms of a farmer's own bottom line, or they're seeing it as an asset for them, I guess that those terms have yet to be determined by the trustees. Yeah,
whether a farmer can trade their equity, that's still going to be determined, and that's going to be a consideration for the trustees depending on how much equity they have available to disperse to farmers, and also Securities Commission regulations and securities laws across Canada. So they've got to look at those things going forward. There is an opportunity, though, when a farmer turns 75, that the company pay that farmer fair market value for their equity at that time. Similarly, if a farmer passes away, there is an opportunity that their estate get that equity. And other than those two areas, there's going to be considerations on how to get farmers some liquidity and how to make that happen, but that's something that the trustees are going to have to establish.
Other than that, since the announcement a few weeks ago or things still on schedule for the same timeline?
Yeah, they are. We're still expecting to close in the summer. We're pretty much on track with that. There's obviously some work to be done to finalise the transaction, but all the issues associated with that and all the items are in train and on track.
All right. Well, thank you both for your time.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.